Today we're taking a look at Milwaukee's new M18 tire inflator. This is a nice little tire inflator. Inflates up to 150 psi. It'll accommodate any of your M18 batteries. And there's a bunch of little features on this unit that I like, so let's go over it. First, with this unit, you get a 36-inch braided cord, which is a nice lengthy cord for filling up any sort of tires. And then you will get also on the back you get a couple little tools for filling up any type of, like your basketball needle, and for filling up rafts or anything like that. So you got a nice little selection of attachments. What's some of these special features that this unit has? Well, first, this has an auto shutoff on it, so you can set the unit to, let's say, 35 psi, and you can set it to 35 psi, turn it on, and you don't have to monitor it. You can just, it'll shut off right when it gets to 35 psi. It's a really nice little feature to have. This also has a units button where you can control three different types of units: your bar, your PSI, and your KPA. And all you have to do is you hold the units button for a couple seconds and it'll change to the selection that you would like. So I always keep it on PSI. Some people like to have it on other things. This also has an overload protector on it and a temperature protector on it. So this unit itself, Milwaukee tells you that after about 20 minutes of continuous running, you want to not use the unit for 40 minutes. You want it to cool down. And after using it for a couple minutes, the back of the unit does get kind of warm. So I imagine over 20 minutes, the unit is going to be pretty hot, and that's why they want it to cool down for 40 minutes, just for precaution so you don't damage the unit. And there is also a safety on it for overload for your temperature. Like I said, it'll just shut off if it gets to that point of overheating. One thing I like about this unit is it has a memory button. So it always seems like you're filling up your tractor tires, your lawnmower tires at the beginning of spring. So my lawnmower tire had a flat tire, of course, at the beginning of spring. So we set as a memory button, so I can go to like 30 psi. I got a bunch of different ones set already. We can go to 30 psi on memory 4, go over to memory 4, and then we'll hold the plus button. Now, if you hold the plus button, it'll go in increments of 5 psi, and if you press it up and down, you can go into like by 1 psi at a time, but if you hold it, it'll go by 5. So we want to get to 30 psi. Let's go to 30 there, and we have it on memory 4 that we're going to have it saved at. So we want it to save. We hold down the memory button and the 30 psi will flash, and then we save it. It's a really nice little feature to have, so it's a time saver. That's what I like about it. Say we want something under 10 psi. So what we would have to do is, see, if I go up and hit the plus button, it'll automatically register 10. So if we have something that is under 10 psi, like a beach ball, anything like that that we want to blow up, we'll have to do that manually. And so you have to have it set at 0 psi, and then we'll hit the start button. Now we have to hold the start button down and it'll kick on. And you would fill up the unit, and you take your finger off once you get to the setting of like 5 psi, and then it'll be filled up. I kind of like that. Nice little manual mode on that. It's pretty simple. How long does it take to fill up a tire? So I had my lawnmower, flat tire. We filled it up. Took probably about a minute to fill it up from, I think it had maybe 10 psi in it, and filled it all the way up to 30 psi. I noticed when I first started it at 35 psi, I misread it. Always double check your tires for the proper inflation levels. So I glanced at it, figured it was 35 psi. It was 30. I caught it about halfway through filling it up, which is fine. Always double check when you are filling up a tire or inflating anything. This unit has an auto check. So once it gets to the proper PSI, it'll check the PSI again. It'll let the tire or whatever you are inflating stabilize, and then it'll wait a couple seconds, and then it'll check the PSI again. And if it's dropped below that set PSI, it'll kick back on and it'll bring it back up to the PSI that it should be, and then it'll check it again, and then if it still does it, and then it'll do it again. I think I've had this happen at least twice when I have filled something up. So I like that auto check on it. It just makes sure you have the proper PSI. I don't think the M12 tire inflator has that. Let me know in the comments below if it does or not. I can't remember if it does on that unit. I don't even know if I have the unit in here. No, I don't have the unit in here. It's out in my work truck. But I'll have to check that. Let me know if it does or if it doesn't. On the bottom of this unit, it has 4 little anti-vibration feet. They're nice little padded feet, and they keep the unit from moving around, and they grip really well on the ground. Kind of keep it from tipping over. Hey, is this pack out ready? Well, no, it's not really pack out ready, but I have noticed that it will sit on a pack out really nicely, especially with these anti-vibration feet. Just bring a pack out unit here. We'll grab one and just bring it over here. Take a look at it. It actually just sits right on top. It nestles in. It sits there pretty well. If you're just gonna set it on the top of the pack out unit just to keep it up out of the way, actually kind of sits in better that way because these back feet grab into these slots right here. So you could actually, you could actually put that here. Let's spin that around. You can actually just kind of line that up and just have it sit in there, and see, kind of push it, and it doesn't really move too much. See, that's not bad, really. Look at that. Starts to move right there. But so if you're just kind of setting it on top of your pack out unit, you could set it on there and it'll kind of stay in the spot for a while. They didn't really give you anything to hang this with. So this is something that's going to have to sit on your shelf or in the back of a work truck. I kind of wish it would have been nice that you could have this hang up on something that, like, maybe if they could have incorporated it with their new pack out garage stuff, that would have been nice to be able to clip this to a pack out unit just to hang on the wall, just so it's up and out of the way. I think this unit is going to be great for a lot of tradesmen out there too. If you're in the landscaping business, if you just want to keep like a little tire inflator in your trailer, so you don't have to have an air compressor on board, just so it doesn't take up space. The other day, our well in our shop, the pressure tank went out, and the well guy actually used this to blow out the pressure tank so they can lift up the pressure tank and remove it from the well room. I thought that was pretty cool that they used this to blow the water out, and it worked really well. I think he went through like a 9.0 battery, and it was a pretty big pressure tank. I should have recorded it while we were doing it, but I was too busy working. but the well guys have used this. They think it's awesome for blowing out a pressure tank because they don't have to bring in a big air compressor to do that. They can just bring this in and then just have it hooked up and just, set it and have it blow out the line. And it was really cool to watch them do it. Let me know what you would be using this for. Comment down below. If you are new to the channel, subscribe and do so. And I will see you on the next one. I am Philip Bridges, and take care.